Y'all, welcome to the welcome to the Uninvited podcast. You know, I try to say that too fast.
Yeah, it is. There it is.
Where we talk about things that get you uninvited to your next dinner party. Yo, we got the fellas here. Ricky is here. Main man Matt is here. And my boy Dwayne is here. Y'all, sorry for the late start. It was my fault, actually. I forgot something, but you know. Y'all just chill out. Y'all be with us. All right, man. So sorry, late start, but lots to talk about. I haven't seen y'all for a minute, man. So what's happening, yo? What's going on? What's life like? So many things have happened, man. Like what? Where do we start, yo? We talk about so many issues, man. Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, there was a small
causing ruckus.
Yeah, it's a small issue with Dave Chappelle. It was totally unnoticeable.
Unnoticeable.
It was unnoticeable. I didn't even notice the thing happened. But Dave Chappelle came out.
What happened with Dave Chappelle?
Yeah, exactly. What happened? I don't know. Dave Chappelle came out with The Closer, which is his 6th Netflix special.
Yeah,
and
I love that.
And he decided to go out with a bang. And long story short, everybody from the LGBTQIA, all of them, all the letters are trying to cancel him right now because of the jokes that he was saying. Now, he's been telling trans jokes, they've been trying to cancel him for like the last 3 years. He's been telling trans jokes for all of those specials, and I guess this was pretty much I'm just going to go out with a bang because he closed everything out.
It's kind of crazy because one of the things that I totally agree with him on is like, listen, man, I wish black people had that type of power to be canceling people. You know what I'm saying? Like
if slaves had baby oil and booty,
you know what I'm saying? If
slaves had baby oil and booty shorts, it would have gone different.
Nah, but you know what? Besides the baby oil and booty shorts, man, if we could just can't be canceling people because they said something to hurt our feelings, that'd be amazing for the black culture, man. We'd be a lot further.
No, but also that movement is actually run by gay white men. It's not, there's nothing really black about it. It's a gay white men type of thing. So that's the reason why I had so much pull.
Yo, I would be very interested in getting a gay white man to talk about this.
Are you sure?
Yeah, man. Really, why do you feel the need? Why do that culture, I should say, I'm not gonna, make it a singular thing. Why does that culture feel the need to rah-rah about something that is just like, all right, that's your lifestyle. If you choose to live that way, that's what it is. Like, it comes with insults. It comes with the territory. Like being black comes with certain things, right? You can't stop being black. So if you choose to be that way, right? All right, it's going to come with some stuff. It's going to come with some disagreements. People are not going to like it. People are going to hurl insults at you.
Yeah.
Right? It's part of what it is.
Yeah, but I mean,
it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, my thing is, it's like, oh my God, the world has to stop because we're insulted.
Or offended, rather.
Or offended. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's usually the case because, Dave Chappelle has been telling jokes about everybody. But
nobody.
When it comes to comedy, they believe that there are certain things that are protected classes that you shouldn't be able to joke about. I'm not of that thinking, but you have the good thing about comedians is you'll have a comedian for every single thing that you want to talk about. So there are going to be certain comedians that I'm not going to patronize because I'm just not going to find them funny. You're not going to see me at a Sarah Silverman concert. It's just not what I do. But if that's for you, like you saw those two ladies in the audience, didn't laugh for the whole time, but they paid money for the ticket, which is stupid to me.
Yeah, it was mean mugging homeboy.
They was mean mugging the whole time. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to meet him out in the parking lot. He was like, I heard what you said.
Yeah, I was there.
And the beautiful thing about Chappelle was he didn't flinch. Like he knew, he was like, this is going to be bad.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to keep going.
He's a professional though.
Yeah, he's a professional, man.
He's been doing this.
And the beautiful thing is also that he's uncancelable. You can't cancel him at this point. It's not a money thing with him. He's got a crap load of money. Right. So it's not like you could, and you're not going to stop him from getting gigs.
What it is? It's an influence thing. That's what they're scared of.
Yeah.
It's not a money thing right now, but he does have influence, right? But
it's I don't even think it's influence. He just gives voice to what other people are afraid to say. We're all a lot of us are thinking it.
And he's influential.
It is. Well, no, I meant influence in the sense like he's not really changing. Like he's not changing my mind or anything. I just agree. So he's just saying what, he's basically the embodiment of the Uninvited podcast.
But I look at it as influence because, like I said, towards the end of the special, he asks something of the LGBTQ community. He says, "All I ask is that will you please stop punching down on my people?" Mm-hmm. And if a lot of people caught that, that's enough influence right there to hold that community accountable for not punching down on his people, our people.
Elaborate on that too, because sometimes people don't know what that means in terms of punching down.
Yeah, it has to do with like he talks about he goes on to talk about things like empathy, and then he also talks about what happened with the baby. Mm. Here's this guy who actually killed somebody. Mm. And that wasn't an issue. Self-defense. Yeah, out of self-defense.
Self-defense, yeah.
And then he goes on stage. I mean, what he did was kind of like, to me, I thought it was like a little incohesive and it was a little bit irresponsible. I was trying to figure it out, like, where is he going with this? But the guy was, this guy was canceled. They really tried to cancel the baby, because of those comments that were made. And you see the difference. You can talk about women, but once you talk about the LGBTQ community, it's like, you're demonized.
Yeah, so you could talk about anybody as long as you don't talk about them.
Right. And that's the thing. Like when we talk about gender,
right.
Like men have been making jokes about women for years. In fact, that's the thing that makes the jokes funny.
Right.
It's the fact that, we're talking about something that we live with. When we talk about the idea of, like, if a man talks about a woman, that's part of what makes the comedy because it's a thing that we all can relate to.
Because it's actually true.
It's because some of the things are true. Sometimes they make up stuff, but it's out of the humor. Like they go, "Oh my gosh, man, woman this, woman that," and women will say the same thing about the guys, and it's hilarious. So, like, if we're gonna respect gender, and these people who identify as certain sex, well, we got to talk about that, because it's really bringing to things that we, like I said, the things that we don't say. The comedian bears this responsibility to say the things that we don't say. They kind of give a certain voice to the things that we think about.
Right.
And a lot of people who go through relationships, they know women are somewhat stereotyped in this way, and then when somebody brings it out, we laugh. Men are stereotyped this way. When they bring it out, we all laugh.
Yeah.
So, like, we can't bring out the certain stereotypes or the certain humor that the way that they see the LGBTQ community. To me, is jokes.
Right. Like, it's not just not getting the joke either, because if they don't like your joke, they'll try to take your livelihood away.
Right.
Like, they'll try to say you can't do this anywhere because we're canceling you, which is where punching down on my people come from, because he spoke about Kevin Hart. He
punching down meaning like they're able to change your livelihood.
Right. They're able to.
They're trying to cancel your livelihood.
Yeah, they'll try to take away your livelihood. They'll make it so that you can't do what you love. You can't work in this town again. Things of that nature, and they're doing it to people that didn't really mean anything by it. They're comedians. They're telling the joke, and if you don't like the joke, then by all means, don't just leave them alone. But these people are actually buying tickets to go to these places to, either heckle them or try to catch them in what they say. And that's a horrible thing to do. I don't think that's even respectable, so that's just that's how that works.
Yeah, I think it's also that at the end of the day, one of the reasons why they feel empowered is because we have, freedom of speech, right? That's your right to feel a certain way.
Right.
You would like to make your point of view clear, right? You want people to respect, hey, I want to identify as this, right? So and I should respect that because that's what you're expressing. And so in that contract, that you have, that little area you're creating, I think there should be a mutual respect.
Right.
Because essentially you're trodden upon the comedian's freedom of expression. You're like, I want to express myself this way. I want to be, born this way, but express myself differently. And that's what you're saying. I should be allowed to do that.
Right.
And so they're like, oh, I have this thing inside me I'd like to share with other people. Some people may like it. Some people may disagree, but I'm doing it for those who like it. You know what I mean? So if you don't, all right, I get it. I'm not going to force you, with my influence to sit down there and listen to my joke and I'm putting it in your face. That's not what they're doing.
Right.
Right. It's a free presentation. Take it, leave it, whatever. And I think that's probably what would make it more palatable to most people.
And right. I mean, and everybody is able to have an opinion on any litany of things, but
Right.
when you try to take away somebody's opinion on the thing,
Exactly.
like if you show me something that's like, well, you have to like this. Well, no, I don't. And, you have to be behind.
Yeah,
this. You
we
have to
change
support
in
this.
society.
He's like, no, I don't.
Completely.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think that was one of the greatest specials of the year, if not for a very long time. As far as culturally what it's speaking to, because that pretty much dialed back cancel culture in a sense, because people that were afraid to say anything are now becoming more vocal and saying, well, no, this is not tolerable.
It's funny because I think black people can learn from this too. Because look how they galvanize, though, right? When something ain't right, they galvanize, they get together, and they're like, listen, we were going to cancel you. They're trying to pass laws. They're trying to do all types of things. And I think that our culture can kind of learn from that a little bit. Even though that what they're doing, is stupid, in my opinion. But at the same time, like, they do galvanize and they do say, hey, we are going to try our best, at least, to cancel your movement or your livelihood. Have you ever seen that song that Warner Brothers put out a long time ago of black people, niggers love chicken and watermelon?
I know nigga love a watermelon.
Nigga love a watermelon?
Yeah.
Have y'all saw that?
That's
It's
actually
like
where
the same theme from the ice cream truck.
Right. That's where they got that from.
Right.
Well,
Like, it's always been okay
Well,
to...
from what I understand about that, the reason why that campaign was there is because now this is the story that I've heard. I can't verify it, but I mean, when history, it most likely is true that black people were profiting off of watermelon. Like that was their crop. Like during that, I want to say maybe it was the Reconstruction era. I'm not sure, but black people were making money off of growing watermelon. So they put out this campaign of having the black character eating the watermelon, and they made it that stereotype, and they tried to discourage black people from growing and selling watermelon. So like, it became sort of a shameful thing,
Right.
For a black person to eat watermelon
because of how they made the video.
Right. We see that video. It's
you're like, what?
It's like, oh, like
I don't want to be
Another piece of history that you won't hear in school.
You know what I'm saying? But it's my point was it was always okay to offend black people. Right?
Yeah.
But now LGBTQ community and on comes out and they want the world to stop and to just be catered to their every single need, and like life don't work like that, man. Like that's my thing. I want to communicate with some people I know, like, and I know trans, I know gay people, I know people that whatever letter you call yourself in that in that thing, I know some of them, right? And it's like, listen, like, it's gonna happen. Like, nobody's gonna agree with you all the time, and that's cool. If you're comfortable in what you do, then you should be able to rock with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't try to impose my will on you. Like, you need to believe exactly what I believe, and don't offend me. Don't say this. Don't say that. Don't say that. Like, come on, man. It's getting ridiculous now. You know what I'm saying?
Did you notice that? Because the space Jews joke, like. You didn't hear from Jewish people,
right?
I haven't heard it, because usually when it comes to Jewish people, like that was pre-LGBT. If you offended any Jewish people, like they were on you,
right?
Like Nick Cannon,
right?
If you remember that,
Yep.
They were on you. I didn't hear a peep from them. I'm interested to know why I didn't hear a peep from them, but yeah, I didn't hear a peep.
No, he had a follow up though with one of them, one of the priests, one of the Jewish priests like that, and I think it's somewhere online where he kind of explained,
rabbi,
yeah, like some rabbi, he kind of explained what his intentions were and that he didn't mean to offend them in this way, but more so to try to bring awareness, by having that conversation, So it wasn't so much like, so I think that could have been the reason why it kind of just.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything from that.
Yeah, that's possible.
But yeah, it is
yourself.
it is possible. But I don't like that we're in a place where we have to explain jokes. Like you either like the joke or you don't like the joke. There was a comedian. This joke is. I mean, he's out there. He's on Netflix. Anthony Jeselnik. He told two jokes, and he's very deadpan comedian, very dry in his delivery. He told two jokes. There's a rape joke that he told, and there was a joke about Eric Clapton's son that he told as well. Those are crazy, crazy jokes. I'm pretty sure Eric Clapton doesn't like his dead son being spoken about, but that's what they are. They're, people say all litany of things to get the laugh, and people do laugh at it. But I'm saying,
let me ask you this: when is a joke too far, though? In your opinion,
I think that's what we're getting, right?
Yeah. When is it too far?
I think when it's. You wanna
go first, or
sure?
Okay, go ahead.
I think it's probably when it seems as though it's just just being wicked. You know what I mean? Where there's no elucidation that comes from the joke, it doesn't get people talking about the topic. It doesn't seem to be fueled by anything else apart from maybe anger or just some type of bias. I think that's probably when it'd be like, okay, yeah, that's not necessary.
Well, good point. I'm glad you said it exactly how you said it, because that's exactly how the LGBTQ community felt. Exactly that. Like, that's too far. So it's too far. A perception type of thing,
absolutely,
based on the people. So
absolutely.
so then, how do you control that then? What is too far?
You can't.
If it's I'd say too far is when you're dealing with protected speech, as in screaming fire inside of a movie theater or inciting violence toward people.
Okay.
If it's not that, say what you want.
It's good.
It's good. It's good to me.
It's good. Well, what I meant was as far as people's opinions, like as
you're
far
also
as,
the
like,
fire and brimstone guy, so of course it's good to you. Of course it's good to you.
Yeah.
Stop being bitches, people.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but no, that's that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think another factor might be timing too.
I think timing.
Yeah, like there, people always use the joke too soon, but I think sometimes time can be a factor where some things might just be too soon.
No, not even that. No. Joan Rivers, before she died, there was a roast, and David Carradine had just died. Does everybody know how David Carradine?
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah.
okay. I don't know.
Was it a
autoerotic? Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Right, but I thought it was with a vacuum.
Wait. How did he die?
He basically like to choke himself while jerking off.
Yeah. Oh, that's what. Okay.
Yeah.
No. You're playing right now.
No, I'm not playing.
No, it's for real.
I did not know this. I did not know. How did he die?
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
He was jerking off and choking himself.
Yeah,
And
with
so,
a belt. And I guess he.
Holy.
Yeah.
Just when you think you heard.
Yeah, the kung fu guy. Anyway.
That's a thing.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
No. You can't just leave that like.
I wasn't leaving it.
You gotta explain that. So what happened? Like how did that happen?
Yeah, okay. There's certain people that like to kind of choke themselves. I don't know what that does, but they like to choke themselves while they're beating off. And again, and then I guess he kept the belt on too long. I don't know what happened. But
No, dude.
No, I don't know what happened.
Jay, it's very hard to kill yourself choking yourself. Like, how does that happen, though?
Well, I think he was probably distracted.
He might have tripped, might have broke his neck. I don't know what happened.
He's distracted.
He might have been distracted.
Yeah. It usually works, and he was an older guy. But Joan Rivers at her roast, so Comedy Central roast, he was like,
man, that's a way to die, yo.
She was roasting somebody, and
With a smile on his face.
and she said,
Say no to that.
Oh man, this guy.
and she said,
today, yo.
She said, I'm gonna tell you.
Yo, I love page racks, y'all. Sorry. Listen, one trip. Listen.
She said,
it is what it is.
Yo,
I love page racks.
she said, I'm gonna tell you what David Carradine told me. Hang in there. Yeah, you know.
Thanks.
Was that too soon? Perhaps, but it was funny.
It was funny.
It was hilarious. It's not funny? Why am I laughing? It's funny.
She said, "Hang in there."
Yeah,
Oh damn.
hang in there.
Keep that hanging there. Yep.
So
Damn, though, that's a way to die, man.
yeah,
Yo, you beat.
he was
your
coming
meat.
and going.
You beating your meat. Oh,
What?
Damn.
That's funny.
damn.
Red
yo.
form,
Matt.
red form.
I'm surprised you're not laughing. Matt loved dark comedy.
Yeah, because I'm just like,
I don't think
because I remember when it happened. I remember hearing about it. I'm like, dude,
Damn,
that's
that's
the
a
kung
way to-
fu guy. Like that's
Yeah.
that's kung fu.
Yeah.
That's how do you like?
Just so you know, it's not.
know.
It was not too tight. It was just too long. Just so you know, just in case you're. Yeah.
Damn.
How the
Yo,
body works.
yo, why not? Yo, where have I been? I did not
remember
know.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not-
Yeah.
Yeah, not everybody finds all comedy funny. Like, what was it? Not Bill Burr. Who's the white guy that died in that horrible masturbation accident? The bald guy. He was in Angry Birds. He got canceled earlier. I think Chappelle talked about him. I can't remember.
Louis C.
Yeah, Louis C.K. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
He says the N-word in his comedy. Like,
Okay.
like he says nigga. Can nigga be funny if a white person says it?
I think so.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
I think
Sometimes.
so. Yeah.
yeah, it can't. Well, but again, if your sensibilities is like an absolute prohibition that no white person can say nigga ever, you're not gonna find that funny.
Yeah.
That's not the comedian for you. You know, Carlin said it as well. You know, other people say it. So if you just got to learn when to not turn it on. Just go to somebody else. But people have lost that. They don't know how to do that anymore.
Man, as long as you're not trying to take away somebody's livelihood, man.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
that's huge.
It's
That's huge.
let it go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But damn, homie, I can't get off that, yo. How do you beat off and kill yourself?
Yeah, man.
That's a hard one. I knew I'd get mad with that one. I knew I'd get mad with that one.
Oh man.
But yo, I'm sorry, y'all, but that's fascinating to me. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, because like
Damn.
that takes a lot of coordination.
Man,
It's like if you like this and then you like this, it's
I don't
like what do you do
understand.
like this?
Matt.
Just
Get to the mic, Matt. We can't hear you.
I just
So
don't
like,
understand.
so what? That's a lot of coordination because it's like you know,
Bruh,
it's like doing like
lot of
one
work.
of these, like you know, you circle whatever.
Nah.
what
If
I'm
you put
saying,
the
that's a
belt
lot of
on
work.
something and you hook it, and then you know you just kind of
Yeah,
walk
you're just
forward.
hanging in there.
Yeah, you're just hanging in there.
Yeah, you just. Yep.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Wow.
Well, yeah, but you know, man, it's jokes. Calm down.
I wonder what's he saying to Jesus at this point.
You think you're talking to Jesus?
Dwayne, when is he talking to Jesus? You should know.
Hey, man.
Jesus said he did it all wrong. That's what he's saying.
You're not supposed to be belt like that, bro. What do you tell him? Like, what do you tell him? You try to avoid eye contact with Jesus. Be like, I don't know what happened, Jesus.
Who's he?
He knows. He saw him.
Who's he talking to about how he went
Yeah,
right now?
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow. It's a question.
yeah, that's crazy, man. But yeah, the Chappelle show, that show was great. I enjoyed every minute of it, and hopefully he does more. But he said this is going to be the last one for a while, which I can understand because he's got to do a lot of damage control. But he's winning all these awards. Nobody's canceling. As a matter of fact, he was quoted as saying, "If this is what being canceled feels like, I like it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, at this point, who's going to cancel? Who could cancel Dave Chappelle?
Yeah, that's going to be really, really tough. It's going to be.
You
really
can't.
Yeah, you can't.
No, he surpasses these outlets and stuff. It's like, yeah, I'm just.
And it pisses them off that they can't.
Yeah, because like Netflix, those guys doubled down.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And yeah, he doesn't have to do anything for a while. Like
Yeah.
you know, Dave Chappelle when he came back, he was he stayed on top of his game. I mean, he got the Chappelle show back and he had the influence to fight for his show.
Right.
You look at what's going on right now. He's to me, he's winning, man. You know, I can't. You know, got the nice sweet deal from Netflix. Yeah, and he can do basically. You know, for him, it's not about quantity. He's all about quality control. You know, he's all about quality, and you know that's what he's been doing. So like, yeah, I think it's just true art.
Yeah, man.
At this point,
and I think the main thing is that cancel culture finally got an L, like you know, in the loss category, and that's beautiful because we've been dealing with this cancel culture for like years now, and then, you know, everybody that they canceled they didn't come back, but
Just
you know,
didn't come back.
Man,
but Dave Chappelle, they tried to do that and it backfired.
The cancel culture need to stop.
I think it will. I think we're moving.
Just come on.
I think we're moving towards you know, normalcy now. You know, more center, because you could like it or you don't like it. Just whatever, leave it alone. Nobody cares because people like it.
well, I don't know. It's hard to answer because you know, like you look at somebody like Chappelle and the influence that he has. And you think, well, okay, well, if you're going to be gone for a while, like how lasting is your voice going to be? You know, like who's going to be the one to take, you know, to continue, you know, in trying to, you know, just push back on cancel culture. I don't know who.
Well, it's new.
There's some comedians out there.
Yeah.
But who has the same influence and the power that Chappelle does?
I don't know if it's necessarily influence or power. You just need somebody to speak up, and the influence and power comes. Like, remember Michelle Wolf? Michelle Wolf did. She's a comedian as well. She did the White House Correspondents roast.
Yeah. So,
She's the one. She's the reason why it's no longer. There's no like because I think Trump shut that down after her because she went in so bad. It was horrible. But, you know, it's not necessarily about having famous comedians, but just having fearless ones. And there are quite a few fearless ones. They just, you know, they're just killing in other places right now, but they don't have the notoriety yet. But
I mean, like there's one comedian that I do see who's carrying the torch. I mean, Michael Che to me is one of them that can easily
he's funny.
pick up that mantle. Or to me, I think he already has picked up the mantle. But in terms of, but the influence is something that's necessary because, you know, like you look at like you said, Chappelle. He's not. What it is the love of money is real. You don't realize how real it is when until you see just how many people are backing down and just going with the flow. Like we look at this whole thing with the vaccine. You know, you look at Kyrie Irving,
Right.
and we look at what's going on in the NBA, and you have these players that were like, yeah, we're gonna you know, stand against this, or I'm not gonna take this. I'm gonna do my own research, and then you know, they find out how much they're gonna lose. They go, okay, I'll be at practice. And it's just like, yo, like what happened to the cause? You know,
Man, this vaccine thing is getting real, man.
yeah, I took it for that reason. I didn't take it because I wanted it.
But I mean, whatever side you're on, right? Like for example, we all took vaccines already. Like there's nothing new. Like if you're an immigrant, you took a vaccine when you came here. Right?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
Now, there's a vaccine for COVID, right? There's scientists, medical professionals come in and they say, hey, this is our best chance to not get it. It's not 100%, but it's your best chance to not get it. I don't see the difference between that and any other drug you've taken. You take Tylenol and it reads there's a bunch of side effects that could potentially happen if this, then that, right? Here comes the vaccine. It's the same thing. If this, then if it can work 90%, right? Or we want it to work 100%, but there's sometimes things might happen.
well, it's not really the same because with certain, if we're talking aspirin, aspirin.
I mean, I'm not making the comparison.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm not saying. Okay,
I'm just saying there are side effects with everything.
Yeah, there are, but everything is a risk. Basically a risk assessment. Is what I'm taking worth the risk that I'm doing for it? So, I think it just came out, or it's been out for a while. The Moderna vaccine, for males under 30. Is some sort of a heart enlargement thing going on. I can't remember the name for it, but it's like it's an enlarged heart that they have problems with. Or with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, women under 50, some of them have experienced blood clotting, which has been, those are pretty serious side effects for some people. Like they've been pretty serious. So when we say, well, we try to look at those cases, they almost immediately try to suppress them. It's like, oh no, it's not that much, it's not that bad, it's not that much. It only happens like once in a blue moon that this stuff happens. But it was like, well, even if it happens once in a blue moon, it still could happen because I meet the metrics for that happening. Which is the reason why I kind of want to wait and see. And also, when it comes to the vaccine itself has only been out for about a year, maybe less, maybe a little less than
About
that.
a year.
As far as vaccine trials go, we don't know what the long-term effects of this vaccine would be. And Don Lemon, my favorite newscaster, Don Lemon, he's a bastion of truth. That guy is. He'll say, he was like, oh, you're taking, Botox and, butt injections, trying to make your butt bigger. And it's like, you can't take a COVID vaccine. Well, I was like, all three of those are harmful for you. I don't know why that would be. But they take the risk because they want the reward.
He's obviously targeting a particular group,
right? Yeah,
I'm saying if he's saying that,
but I'm saying it's risk reward. If you want a bigger booty and you're willing to do the butt shots, we know it's or you're willing to do Botox, that's fine. That's your choice. But then again, that's your choice. But there's at no point has the government said, "Hey, Dwayne, you're going to take these Botox shots." I'm like, nah.
That's
agency is the big thing.
That's why I think it's wrong. It's like as much as I understand. Okay, here's a vaccine. It can potentially protect you 90%. It's not 100%, right? Okay, cool. You deal with that, but you shouldn't impose your will on people and their livelihoods. That's the tricky part, right?
That'd be the tricky one.
And saying like you should do this, or else you lose your jobs, because a lot of people lost their jobs, right?
Yep.
Right.
But at the same time, though, what they're pitching is it's not just about we're trying to lose your job. It's the fact that if you have it, you can infect somebody else. So this is the line that we're teetering here.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
But the question,
it's yes, I'm not going to impose it on you.
Right.
At the same time, if you do catch it, then somebody else can catch it. Now it becomes a situation where we have to regulate. Right. So how do you balance that then?
Yeah, but the thing is, with most people who have caught it, and I'm from the beginning of COVID, they say that there was always a 99.5 survival rate. So of people who get it, that those are who they get it and then they live from it. Yeah. Now, myself, from the beginning of this podcast, I always said, if there's a vaccine and you are part of that targeted community that could die from this thing, you should absolutely take that vaccine if you feel like you need to. Right. I am 40 years old, sir. I've had COVID 3 times. I've only, for each time I was sick with COVID, the first time I was sick for about 5 days. Second was like 2 or 3. And the third one, I got a fever. That was it. And it was like 1 or 2 days, and that was it. So as far as my immunity was concerned, I didn't see the need to take it. There's a lot of people in my particular age group that didn't need to take it. My parents, who are in their 60s, and if everybody should take it, and the survival rate is so high. This is not polio we're talking about. Polio will kill you. The Spanish flu will kill you. This particular thing, only 0.5 maybe? Okay. I don't see what the reason is, which would lead me toward the conspiracy theorists have a point, and they're also having a field day because you're saying, oh, it's safe, but people are getting harmed. And with these breakout infections, people that are fully vaccinated. Colin Powell.
Yep, I was about to say that.
Colin Powell, he just died. fully vaccinated. Of course, he also had Parkinson's disease and he was recovering from blood cancer, but he was fully vaccinated. There have been people that have been fully vaccinated, still died. And then you're trying to say it's the unvaccinated's fault that the vaccinated are dying. I call BS.
But
I call BS.
Here's a funny thing too, though, right? Why isn't there like a mandate on, you know what, you need to drink this much water per day, and every morning you get up, you need to drink a green juice and make sure you get all your vegetables. Like, I mean,
Food and Drug Administration.
If we're dealing with health, right?
Yeah,
and you
right.
really do care about the health of the people,
Right.
because you just care that the people live and not die, right? You know what will make people's immune system,
Yeah.
like for example, like if people are 100, imagine a country that with all vegans. I'm not saying that vegan is the way, the truth, and the light, right? But
Yeah.
if all the countries all vegan, so we're doing preventative work now, right? So now when something comes, our immune system, right? Not to say it's 100%, but we have a greater percent chance of combating that, because our immune system is very strong because of our
lifestyle,
our lifestyle,
the culture,
right?
yeah.
So why is not the lifestyle of health promoted? But yet, you're quick to want to give people a vaccine because this is what's going to make you get through. But you're going to feed us the same bullshit, right? That gets us cancer.
Right. And that's what it is.
The meat that's been there for
Right.
like months. You're going to feed us that, though.
Yeah, you get all these
this is where the
preservatives.
conspiracy theories have a point. Like, yo, you don't really care about our health. So what are we doing here?
You know how much they're getting paid
You know
for
what I'm
each
saying?
vaccine? You know how much Moderna and Pfizer are getting paid?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, we're live in there.
Oh.
There's a couple people.
All right, cool.
Continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. But no, you know how much Moderna and Pfizer and all these people are getting paid for each vaccine? Millions of dollars. So it's not so much because they always want you to follow the science, quote unquote, follow the science.
Right.
If above that science is a capitalistic motive, then the science doesn't really matter, because that
doesn't.
science is going to say whatever it needs to
Yes,
in order to get the money.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't need that.
Well, I think also, to your point, Space, is that it's going to hold all these other companies accountable for what they're putting out there.
Is it though?
And once you start really pumping out health and you have that campaign, well, now what about these companies that the FDA approved?
Right. If people take them seriously.
That are putting all of this unnecessary man-made sugar in the food. Like, why does wheat bread have high fructose corn syrup? Why do some breads have that?
Because, Matt, like, all right, I can feel confident in saying this. They don't give a damn about your health.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's to your point. That's what I'm saying.
They don't care.
They don't care.
That's what I'm saying. Because if they were really about health, well, then they're gonna have to attack these companies,
Right, exactly.
that the FDA themselves approved, that are putting these all these unnecessary preservatives in the food.
Well, forget about that. I mean, things that are like have actually been shown unequivocally just terrible to have even one shot of, right? Like smoking. Like, why do we still have cigarettes? You know what I mean?
Just
we
like
put a tax on it. We put a this on it so they can make money.
Because of dopamine.
Well,
They all have a dopamine effect.
Sugar is the dopamine effect as well.
sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
I want to feel good, sir.
It's a de-stressor.
Yeah, well,
So they add the stress and then invent us something that that's supposed
to help you with
Yeah.
it. So we make the coronavirus and then we give you something to.
right, which is why the conspiracy theories have a point.
Right.
It makes sense.
Right.
They have a, you know what I'm saying? Like,
They have
when
a
you
point.
think about it.
And that's what I think. Like, if you're medically compromised, and that's where, like, I hear both sides. You have these health gurus saying, well, you got to do this, you got to do that. And if you're somebody who's medically compromised, obese, you already know my lifestyle is not. I'm not going to just switch this overnight. I might as well just get the vaccine, because to do all. Okay, I'll work on that, but I'm going to take the vaccine while I work on this, because you're saying something that in the world of people who don't work out, in the world of people who who don't take their vitamins and nutrients, this is far-fetched. You know, when you start talking about things to improve your immune system, they're not on that. Their whole thing, because they're doped up on sugar. You know, my whole thing is I need my next fix. You know, that Twinkies around the corner. I know, like, your whole lifestyle is based on, you know, roots of how you eat. You know exactly where you're going to get this food from. You know you're going to get that sugar from. You know you're going to get that piece of sugar from. You know, and it's you're talking about an extreme lifestyle change. I'm not saying that. I mean, I think that it should happen, but I think in the process, yeah, take the vaccine, because, you know, like, what these health gurus are saying is something that we should have been doing, but because of the lifestyle that you have, no, you might as well take the vaccine, work on it. But we know
absolutely
you're most likely not going to follow that rule. If you didn't follow it back then,
you're not going to be a vegan.
Yeah, no, right.
So go ahead and take the vaccine and save yourself.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
you're not gonna.
And also, if everybody becomes healthy, there's no more need for like the FDA or drugs or things of that nature. So they're not going to take out of their pockets at all.
I think that the world has to come to a new thing, man. I think we're heading there, Bear. Like, forget off this FDA stuff. Like we have to get into a place where, man, like, yo, these things are things of the past, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be, because it just doesn't make sense. Like we're stuck on stupid, man.
Parked and dumb, right?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just inefficient way of living.
No,
bro.
it's
like,
inefficient.
It doesn't.
It's inefficient, but people getting filthy rich, man, and that's what we keep it going.
And that's what that's my thing, though. That has to change, bro.
Well, it's also part of the dream, right? You can do whatever you want, have whatever type of lifestyle you want, and you take a pill and it cures whatever.
Right.
That's an awesome thing. That's an awesome, contract to have.
Want that, right?
You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, just do whatever, and then take this pill, take this one. Make sure you follow it with this one, and then you'll be good.
Yeah, because
every morning
a salad doesn't taste as good as a Wendy's burger, man. No, I'm playing. But it's true, because they
put all that stuff.
They put all that stuff in it.
There is another issue as far as the coronavirus, and especially when it comes to okay, so this is what I heard recently. Somebody, not recently, but people have spoken about how the medical experts, they know what's up, and if they're taking, the virus, then obviously it must be good because they know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And so I said to somebody, okay, so what about what just happened recently? So these people who got fired, they were medical personnel. They were the only ones targeted by this thing that, everybody's talking about. So are you telling me I'm supposed to trust the opinion of now again, I have a certain empathy here. Okay, I'm not going to be harsh. Mm-hmm. If a person spends their life becoming a medical, whatever, I mean, to get to be anything, you have to, pay for that school. Yes, there's a lot of money in there, and a lot of time before you become a nurse or something like that, right? So that's a huge investment. So I could see that person looking at something like that and saying, hey, man, I don't know about this, but I can't give up all of that. You know what I mean? Just because I believe that maybe this is not right. So if they're not strong on the negative side, then they may just go with it because there's a chance that it's all right. Mm-hmm. So I get that. Now, am I supposed to say, okay, so a person who then says they're also in the medical field and they've studied this stuff, I mean, that's what they do for years, and they're looking at this and they're like, it's not checking out based on what I understand, and so their stance is to not take it and get fired for that opinion, mm-hmm. right? That feeling, I'd be like, that's more of a hero to me. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I'm not saying you're not a hero if you mm-hmm. decide to take it. All I'm saying is more, right? If I'm going to compare the two, I'm going to say, I'm going to feel like that person who didn't take it has a stronger, belief in their opinion, rather than a person who's like, it might not be. You get what I'm saying? And so I'm like, I don't get why we cannot see that differentiation and realize that's what it is. The other thing about that is these people who got fired were the same people when this first came out were the heroes.
Yeah.
Those were the first responders. They'd have flags in front of their house and everything. These are the heroes of the time. They're still going to work under these circumstances, and then we fire them. Mm-hmm. Right? So what about that? You know, like how do we go from one?
And a lot of these people, are great, and they've been in their field for years. They are the most knowledgeable. They know what's
they know
going
more
on.
than me.
Yeah, and you fire them. Like, how do you fire somebody? How do you fire healthcare workers in the middle of a pandemic?
Yeah,
like it doesn't. That makes absolutely no sense. Yeah,
I think that's one of the things that, you know, I think it left American citizens to kind of fend for themselves. And people were coming down on the regular folks like us, and they're saying, oh, well, you know, everybody became a scientist overnight. And it's like, yeah, I understand that, but like, can you blame them though? Because there's so much misinformation coming on both sides, from the medical experts and from the people who are just totally against vaccine. And you know, like, it seems like those who were pro vaccine were sort of compromising their own education just to jump on this campaign of just taking the vaccine. Like, I saw this one, and Biden's not a medical expert, but I saw that one video where Biden, this is like when what was the hurricane, the most recent one we had.
Oh, that was funny. I think I know who you're talking about.
And then he's talking about, you know, the hurricane was coming. And I think he's like in Florida.
Go get your vaccine.
He says,
what the hell does that?
What does that have to do? Go get a vaccine. What does that have to do with the hurricane that's coming? And you're worried about shelter and food and electricity.
That's easy.
But my point is like, it shows you that mentality is you're compromising everything. You're compromising your intelligence. You're compromising, you know, everything that you built up just for the sake of just jumping on this thing of taking the vaccine.
Oh no, for the first time, I'm going to say Biden was right. He was absolutely right. That hurricane was going to get halfway to Florida. He was going to look and be like, nah, too many people got their vaccine. I can't go there. Let me turn around. Go back to Haiti. Like, it's like, what are you doing?
No, but that's what I was thinking. It's probably going to be bringing over a new strain. So they got to get, they got to get
more reason to get the vaccine.
The hurricane was bringing with it something we'd never seen.
But how many other medical experts were just getting on TV? People who were trained, like you said, the ones who went to school and knows more than what the average person, you know, has studied in you know, regular school. They went on TV and have compromised everything just to jump on the vaccine bandwagon. Now, I'm not saying that the vaccine is not effective. It has proven to be effective. But like, when you don't observe everything, like Space was saying, like there are some issues with some people who take the vaccine, and it's wrong when you don't validate that experience. You know, like, what are you telling this other group? You know, because we do that with all the other medicine. You know, so like, we're not doing this with the vaccine. In fact, if you do it, well, then you're going to get canceled.
Yeah, for sure.
You know the amount of, I mean, the amount of schism that has happened between families. Because of because of talking about this vaccine, people aren't even talking to one another. I've seen, like, they had whole forums and articles about, oh, I don't speak to my grandma now because she didn't want to get vaccinated, and I don't want to bring my kids around somebody who's not vaccinated. So you know, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy town, man. You just say, oh, you either want to get vaccinated or you don't, and then, you know, whatever. But people are really losing relationships over
I think
this.
that's definitely one of the biggest things about it. It's that type of division that it's creating. It's ridiculous. And I did feel like the one opportunity that the experts had was to present the information to the people. Let there be just let that flow. Let opinions flow. Don't you sent no. That sounds like Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
That sounds like
I get it.
Socialism.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but on the other side too, if it can spread from one person to another, that's where it becomes tricky though, right? Like, if you do have it and you could give it to somebody else that's not vaccinated, right? Then how do you measure that? How do you regulate that?
Okay, I'm going to try to circle back to what you just said, but you just made me think about something. And I'm just talking about human psychology here. Who do you think is going to act dangerously in this situation, right? Because of the way this thing is touted. So you vaccinated. When you hear that, that sounds like you have a level of, like you have an S on your chest. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna probably, it's kind of like people with protection when they're having sex. There's generally more risky, behaviors that they're going to engage in because they have that quote unquote protection or vaccination than somebody who's like, I don't use that, so I'm have to make sure the people I'm with. You get what I'm saying?
No, not
so I feel like even at this point, the people who are probably acting most risky and having parties and also it's probably the people who are vaccinated because they feel like, yeah, we can get together now, we can do whereas that's not really the case.
Right.
And the person who's decided, I'm just gonna be with my family, I'm just gonna keep a port, I'm gonna have this places I'm gonna go, I'm not gonna go out to, you know what I mean? Because I still believe this thing exists, but I don't want to do that. So they're probably engaging in less risky behavior. And so as far as things spreading around, because there's never been anybody who said if you get vaccinated then you can pass it on.
Right.
They've never said that. So I'm not even going to even start to say like that's something to be disputed. They never said that.
Right.
So a person who's vaccinated may still pass. They may not get affected. They could just be a vector, and then they could pass it on to other people. But yeah, so I'm gonna. Oh, you got. Oh yeah. So we good. You know what I mean? And that's not necessarily the case. So I'm just looking at a lot of this stuff like from, even from a psychology point of view. And I'm like, it's not really adding up in that way. You still need that education. You still need to let people know, even if they're vaccinated, that doesn't mean you have a leeway.
They are saying that people are just not listening.
Yeah. Well, they say no. They're saying
you can't pass it as much.
They're saying you need to still wear your mask.
Yeah.
That's all they're saying. They're not saying don't engage in. I'm talking about specifically.
They're saying you should still be cautious.
Yeah.
Because there's a chance that you can get it again and pass it on.
Right. But they weren't saying that in the beginning, though.
No.
It wasn't.
Remember, there was like this big incentive of, well, you're vaccinated, and now you can take your mask off.
That's what Biden said.
Yeah, and it's like, you have a free pass.
Oh, I didn't trust it.
Here's your gift.
I still wear
You got
masks.
vaccinated. Here's your gift card. Go spend it.
Right.
Yeah.
All these incentives,
I just stayed away from, obese and old people, but I just kept my mask off. Just stay away from them because they're in danger.
That's funny because somebody said, I need to breathe some time ago. And now, you can't breathe anymore. It's kind of crazy how these cultures just come and go in tides, and it's just ridiculous.
But I think the other side of it too is when you have the anti, and they're just making up stories about vaccines. Like there was that one group who said, "Oh, these guys, it's been proven if you take the vaccine, you're gonna die in like a certain amount of years," and I'm just like, where did you get this information?
Why you can't
from?
do that?
You can die tomorrow.
You can't.
Yeah,
do
it
that.
might not be from the vaccine.
I got a million other ways to die. I just didn't think it would be from COVID, and I've been right up until this point. But but it could be something else.
It could absolutely. There's complications to the thing.
Yeah, I just don't like. Like I said, I don't like the fact that there are certain family members that I had knocked down, drag out fights over whether or not it's okay to not get the vaccine.
Yeah,
I got people that if they see the podcast, it's like you don't like the vaccine, and then it's like almost like a scarlet letter type situation.
Damn.
And I'm like, it's dumb to me.
No, we have to put it to where it's an individual choice.
You can't. Yeah, you just cannot go over people's choice, man.
No, and that's the main thing I think that should definitely be protected at this point. People should have a choice. And I'm not going to call somebody yes or no and whatever based on what they decide.
They're killing Kyrie though, man.
Gosh,
they're killing. Going back to that, they're killing this dude, yo.
I was like, what it is with Kyrie. I was with him during the pandemic because I feel like Kyrie wants to stand for something. And I'm just like, he's just lost. Like, you just don't know what are you standing on. Because like when the whole thing happened with the incident in Milwaukee where the black guy was
George Floyd.
No, it wasn't George Floyd.
Oh yeah,
but I mean, it was in the midst of all of that.
Right.
The pandemic and the protesting, and he was trying to really champion for the whole boycotting. For having the NBA boycott, and they did actually boycott a game in the playoffs because of the incident. The guy survived, but I think he was shot by cops or whatever. that happened in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I remember.
And and the thing was, Kyrie wasn't trying to play. Well, Kyrie wasn't really trying to go back in the NBA that time to play. So you have that incident. I mean, there was incidents before, and then now you have this whole thing with the vaccine, and he's just like, no, I'm not going to take it. So like, there's a certain inconsistency with Kyrie, but and it's like I want to support it. I just feel like he's just not the guy to do it,
Well, at least he has enough. At least he has some balls, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might not be the right guy. He might not have it all. He might not have all the knowledge. But usually it takes a set of sack to be able to do something like that, even if you're ignorant. Like, you're gonna learn as you go. And I think Kyrie's gonna learn as he goes. But I think one of the ingredients that I can say that is good is when he understands that there are consequences that's gonna happen, and you still do it anyway.
Right.
And
Serious
that means like, there's serious consequences. Like you're losing millions.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing. I think like with the NBA, I feel like the players in the NBA have enough to really turn things around. No, I believe that they do. I believe that they do have what it takes to have people have the right conversation.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you were saying they had enough money.
No, because there's obviously somebody's cutting their checks. Nah, but I thought that's where you're going. Sorry, I do believe that they can get the right, use their influence and power to get the right people in the rooms to have that conversation, whether it's talking about race or any other thing. Because let LeBron lead a cavalry to say we're not going to play an NBA game until you address this issue.
I don't know if he'd do that.
He's not going to do that. He's not. But I'm saying but he has that type of pull. When LeBron first left Cleveland, he took a nice percentage of the economy of Cleveland with him.
That he did.
And so that shows you the kind of power that these ball players do have. They're not going to exercise that because of the money that they have. And you got to understand where they're coming from. A lot of these people come from the hood. They got a lot of people riding on them. But at the same time, sometimes you just got to take a stance, and be that conduit to get the right people in the room. There's been people who've been fighting for these causes for a long time, but they're not in the conversation because they don't see black people as they don't really, the black intellects are kind of frowned upon in our country, but we're always the entertainers. We're in the sports industry, movie, music. If they can use that influence to really make the connection to get the right people in the space, all you gotta do is say, I'm not gonna play another game. And these team owners are going to be like, look, we got to do something because our guys, we need to put butts in the seats, and these guys aren't playing. LeBron's not going to jump. Kevin Durant's not putting the ball in the hoop until we have this conversation. So I think that, athletes do have a certain type of
Do you think it's easier for an athlete to do that or for a group of people to do that?
I think it's good for a group of people, a group of athletes to here's what I'm saying. Like, I hear what you're saying, and I think LeBron can have that level of influence that if he says, "All right, I ain't playing," a lot of your merch, a lot of your deals with cable or what have you goes down the drain, right? But how about if the people said, "Well, we ain't watching a damn thing." They couldn't.
We ain't doing nothing.
They tried.
They tried,
and that's my thing. Is like, where does the power really lie? Is it on that one individual, or is it in the people saying that we're not going to do something? Like, for example, if a crowd of people say, "Yeah, we're just not going to support this network anymore," how do they make money?
Yeah, well, the problem is you're not going to get everybody to do that. Do you remember the thing with the Colin Kaepernick in the NFL? Black people were like, we're not going to watch the NFL. But I'm like, well, you're still watching the NFL.
And then Jay-Z comes in with the
with the deal.
With the deal. And then everybody's cool with it now.
Yeah.
You know, like how do you win?
We suck.
You
man.
do.
So you circle
We
around.
can't get nothing right. Hell.
You circle around to the answer to the question you had before, which is why can the letters get their way? Because they have that unity. You see what I'm saying?
course.
Whereas with most other movements, there's cracks in the
Well,
armor.
no, I know. Here's what I believe. I don't believe that they necessarily have unity, but the people that they have that are the loudest at the top have the
Right,
most.
right. Well, yeah.
They have the money.
Yeah.
You know, black people will never cancel anybody at the same time. Not all black people will never. We were all canceling this person. Nope. We didn't do it with R. Kelly. We're not going to do it with the NFL. We're just not going to do it.
get
You know how many black people were forgiving R. Kelly? We're the most forgiving race.
Ass.
If you could think, yeah. If you could sing,
It's like, but he got good music. Like, why? What's the rationale? You know, like,
Because he's the Pied Piper.
he's the Pied Piper. Here, you can have my daughter too. You know, it's
My
like-
daughter, yeah. He did his fluting and made all the daughters come to his party and all that. Yeah, man. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
we when Kanye was running his Donald Trump rant. But here's the thing that I disagree with. Why is it that when it comes to black women, we just dismiss them?
How? Like how?
Okay, remember the whole when Trump first got into office, right? Okay. Here we go.
Are you gonna bring her up? Because I get my blood pressure goes up. My blood pressure goes. You gonna talk about if her initials is PH, we gonna shut down this damn podcast. Go ahead, brother.
talking
Go
about-
ahead, Matt. Go ahead, Matt.
Okay. Kanye meets with Trump and Steve Harvey. There was a little bit of an issue, but they were not canceled. Chrisette Michelle. There we go. Chrisette Michelle.
Yo, she was on the podcast the other day, but go ahead.
Whose podcast?
I'll find it in a second.
All right, no problem.
Yeah.
Chrisette Michelle sings one song at the inauguration,
Right.
and she's like canceled.
No, but she was with somebody. The gospel guy.
She was with Travis
Dredd.
Travis
Green. Yeah, he didn't get canceled.
He didn't
at all.
get canceled. Black man didn't get canceled, but the black woman.
Yep.
You think that was a woman thing?
Yeah, black woman thing. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
so?
Like,
Always.
this is the thing. I just don't like. We do a horrible job at protecting black women in our community.
Yep. For years,
yeah.
by her own people, canceled by like it's not
own-
like a bunch of liberal white people like that damn Chrisette Michelle. Like black folks were like
Wrote her off.
just wrote her off
I didn't write her off.
and still
Didn't either.
and still buying Yeezys.
I still like her music.
And still buying Yeezys. Like still like going for Kanye West hard. It's like I can't wait for that new Kanye West thing. It was like, what about when he was wearing a manga hat? Oh no, that's okay. Whatever. Yeezys.
I also think the Chrisette thing was just a timing thing
It
too.
was a
Because
timing.
it was a lot of things going on before Trump, right, got into office. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of all those things going on, Chrisette really like you were gonna go sing?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But Travis Knight,
And-
Travis who?
Green.
Travis Green was there too, and he was still.
Huh?
Yeah, I guess different audience. I guess, but
you know,
I guess church people weren't canceling people then. I guess like church people maybe. Is that
I
what we're
guess
doing?
no, but you're right because church people didn't one of the was it Erica Campbell or Tina?
Erica.
One of them said something about Trump, like we gotta get together, unity, whatever. She put that message out there. She caught a little flack, but I think the church is like, nah, we're not gonna cancel Erica or I can't remember which sister said it.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's half a Mary. We don't. do that. That's Mary.
Yeah, we can't. We gotta go cancel Mary and just have Mary.
We can't have one Mary. You gotta have both of them. Yeah. But it's crazy. I mean, she's coming back now, but it's like 4 years later.
Right.
Like 4 years for that? Stupid, man.
and they canceled her.
Yeah.
This thing is so stupid, guys. I swear.
That's why, like, there's got to be a certain folks. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it just seems like,
People are up in their feelings, man.
yeah,
Yeah, it's stupid.
If you really look at it, it really comes down to the love of money. That's really,
yeah.
Talk about that. Explain that though. Like,
but
like, how is that tied to the love of money?
Well, that and we can't disagree, but go ahead. love of money too.
Yeah, like that's one thing I realized more and more. Once they realize count their costs or calculate how much they're gonna lose, they'll back up. You know, you saw that, like you see that in the NBA. Like I said, who was it? Andrew and was it Wiggins?
Wiggins, yeah.
Right.
Man, he saw how much he was gonna lose. He said nothing. He went to the nearest pharmacy.
No, but here's my thing with the NBA players, though. All right, like, listen, you have enough money.
Nah.
No. Hear what I'm saying. Hear
All
what I'm
right.
saying.
All right.
Hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying. You have access. Let me use a different word. You have access to top medical professional. You could go and see top herbalists. You could do all that stuff, right? Like, I didn't think that for them it should have been that big of an issue, right? Because if you are doing your research, you have the capacity to do enough research, right, to put yourself in a position to boost your immune system, to do all the things necessary that you need to do, because you have access to these people, right?
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
somebody doesn't.
Yeah.
So to me, I didn't think that it was like, you know, like, guys, come on, man. If you go to Europe somewhere and go get a shot, and you know there's somebody somewhere, there's like, you have access to these people, right? So I was shocked when Andrew Wiggins was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna take this back. I'm trying to stand for something," and I'm like, "Man, like, you don't even have to say all that. Like, just you never have to lose any money. Just take your money and go do what all the rich millionaires and billionaires do, right? Seek out these doctors and get what you need to get, right? And get immune from this stuff, because you know it's there, right?
Yeah, but they weren't going to accept that. You have, they weren't going to accept that. It doesn't matter how immune you are or how many times you've had COVID. They're looking for that vaccine card. So
you mean to tell me? Okay, guys, all right, let's talk real. All right. You mean to tell me all four of us sitting at this table right now, and Matt, you're a governor, and you saying, "I need to see your vaccine, Patrick, or Space. I need to see your vaccine." I'm like, "Man, come on, man."
Yeah, see, this is the issue that I had.
Like, I'm gonna give you this much money, okay?
Right.
Here's the vaccine, okay? I have this, and here say I have the vaccine. All right, good. It's a card. How do you know I got it or not?
Okay, here's
You know, like, come on, we have too much money to be talking about those simple things.
exactly like
Right.
there was that singer. What's her name? Victory Boyd,
Yeah,
who was not
Victory.
singing at the Super Bowl.
they snubbed her from the national anthem,
Right.
from the first game. So Corey and Michelle
Right.
ended up doing it.
So let's just say this, right? Let's say you're a club owner, and then
But wait a minute.
no,
She okay, hold that.
okay, yeah.
She should not have been snubbed.
No, she shouldn't have.
She should not have been snubbed
No.
because, like, you're singing on stage, you were nowhere near anybody,
Right.
right? Just go and sing.
Put your mask on. Take your test. Put your mask on.
and go
And
then
yeah.
leave afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just okay.
yeah.
Now let's say if you're a club owner, right?
Yeah.
And let's say Rihanna's like unvaccinated, right? And she goes, "Yo, I know the world hasn't heard my single. I haven't dropped a song in you know how long it's been. Rihanna fans know I can't. I don't know, it was like 6 years. I don't know. I could be wrong. But she goes, I want to debut my new single and I want to perform it at your club, right? And what are you gonna say? Oh,
I'm the club owner.
yeah.
Oh, you already know the answer to that. We already know the answer to that, man.
He's like,
He's unvaccinated.
I'll
What
let-
are you gonna? What are you?
I'll let her cough in my face.
I'd be like,
Thank you, Rihanna, thank you.
When you listen, there's always a way.
There's always a way.
There's always a way. That's all I'm saying.
Right. So the point is, like, what is this really about?
Control, man.
Yeah, that's what it is.
About control.
It's about control.
Yeah,
It's
that's all.
99.5% recovery, really? And everybody has to be vaccinated. Word.
Control.
Stop
Yeah.
it. Stop
Yeah.
it. Stop
Control.
it. Nonsense to me.
But people are dying.
Of course.
Yeah, it's
That's-
a
People
reality.
be dying every day.
People
though.
are dying from the
People
flu.
are dying from the beginning of time.
People are dying from the flu. People are dying from cancer.
No, people are dying.
People are dying from
People are dying from COVID.
COVID.
People are dying from
Gotcha.
car crashes. I don't see anybody saying get out of your car. It's what it is. People die every day.
People dying
Every
like,
single day. And I'm like, if it's not COVID, if COVID don't get you, it's going to be something else. I'm just saying, COVID has really less of a chance than other things. So yeah,
It really
whatever.
does.
It's not worth the risk to take the vaccine. It's not worth
Why
it.
they gotta fudge the numbers?
To me, it's not worth it.
Why they gotta fudge the numbers?
Because they don't know themselves, man.
Why they gotta fudge the numbers?
Nobody really
why
knows.
nobody gotta get a heart attack and they died of COVID? Like, why we gotta
Nobody
fudge the
really
numbers?
knows, man.
Come on.
And he was like, he was like, this person died of COVID. He was like, wasn't he fully vaccinated? Yeah, it was those damn unvaccinated people.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? That
Yeah.
is that how vaccines work?
Yeah.
And it's not really even a vaccine because it's mRNA, something different about it. So the definition of vaccine doesn't track. But whatever. Crazy times. That's just what we're living in.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's a whole argument going on in the chat right here. I just
Yeah, what are y'all doing? I'm sorry.
People are dying from Popeyes. Oh,
Popeyes. They brought it.
Somebody just had a Popeyes.
I just had a Popeyes chicken sandwich. Am I going to die?
Chase is going at it with somebody.
Yeah, he's going out with a Bryce. Going out with a Bryce. They're going out with my cousin.
Oh, Bryce. Right.
You're going out with Bryce.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. It's just them two in the room. Wow.
Well, then have at it then. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Wow. Okay. I don't even think they need us to even.
Exactly.
Do we even like address this? Like, what do we do? What's the
I don't know
question?
where to jump in.
Oh, I got it.
People are dying from Popeyes. I'm not leaving that establishment. Neither am I, cousin, because I just had some.
Joe Rogan
Right.
and CNN, you know.
Okay.
Allegedly
Speaking of uncancelable comedians, Joe Rogan just had a podcast with Sanjay Gupta, which is the medical guy at CNN. I don't know what he's a medical correspondent, and CNN back in April when Joe Rogan got COVID. Joe Rogan said he basically threw the kitchen sink at it. He was taking VPAC and ivermectin, and when he said ivermectin, ivermectin has been used in the past as a horse dewormer. It's been used for many different things.
As a what?
Horse dewormer. One of the uses for it was a horse dewormer. It also cures river blindness, and was used in human patients and horse patients. Just a whole bunch of uses for it. CNN decided to zero in on their news was basically Joe Rogan is taking horse dewormer for COVID-19 and he's telling other people to take it. It's extremely irresponsible of him, and that was their news talking point for about 2 weeks. So once Rogan got Sanjay Gupta on his podcast, for it got a little tense for about 10 minutes. Because he was going back and forth with them saying, CNN lied because I wasn't taking horse dewormer. I was taking ivermectin, which was prescribed by a human doctor. So what, how do you feel working for people or working for a so-called news organization that's all right with lying? Sanjay had nothing to say behind that. And also, he's like, well, if you're lying or if you're spinning this particular thing that's so small, I'm just one comedian, this is so small, then how can we trust you about Russia? How can we trust you about all of these other major news items? How can we trust you about COVID? When you have an ability to lie about something like this. And he really had no rebuttal for that. And then to make matters even worse, the next day, he got on a show with that bastion of truth, Don Lemon, and Don Lemon was basically doubling down. He was saying, well, it's absolutely true that ivermectin was used for horse dewormer, but he's missing the point. It's actually used for a litany of different. It's been prescribed millions of times. I believe actually our great producer said it's used in Japan as well for human people. So CNN is basically lying, and they decided to double down on the lie, which is gangster as hell, but it's kind of stupid. So that's what's happening with Joe Rogan and the whole COVID situation, which is horrible.
Right.
How do we? These are news sources, but now they've become editorial news sources. It's no longer about the news. It's about how they feel about it. It's about suppressing certain issues that would make their news not true. And it's about and that's why I'm hearing that their viewership is down as well, and people have less like they don't believe the news, or they don't believe CNN or places like MSNBC or Fox News, because there's always a spin connected to it. They're not telling you the whole thing. They're not telling you the story. You have to get it from other places, like your Joe Rogan podcast. I like Russell Brand, who aren't really connected. They're not really connected to anything. They're just saying, well, this is what happened and that's it. We've lost that. We used to have that type of news. And I think that's why we have such,
we used to have what type of news that tell the truth?
News. No, I'm saying news basically, like basically when they're telling a book report.
I'm about to say.
Yeah. It's like news basically like telling a book report. This is what happened. Nobody told you how they felt about it. But there was a time in the news where they told you how they felt about it, which was the editorial part. And they said the views expressed, yada, yada, yada. But
Andy Rooney.
Yeah, Andy Rooney, right. So, but now the type of news that we have now is not only will they tell you their spin or their opinion on it, they're going to suppress other points of the counterpoint.
In fact, that's most of the news segments, right? They bring some experts to discuss matters. That's most of the news at this point.
Yeah.
You don't really have a presentation style, except for the weather,
right?
And the traffic,
right? Yeah, and there's
aside from that, it's all opinions. I'm bringing experts.
Even that's starting to sound like a lie sometimes.
But it's funny because it's like, listen, oh man, you know what, man? Listen, man, a news company can't survive without lies. Like sometimes, why are we so surprised? Like you have to, the point of news, right? How do I sustain this business? I have to create excitement. So therefore, I have to. No, I'm serious. I have to illuminate a little bit more. I have to exaggerate just a little bit more. I have to add a little thing that's not there. I have to take snippets from here and add it to there and create this narrative, because that's how we survive.
Yeah, but it's not sustainable though, because that'll work. It is
sustainable.
No, I'm saying it's worked it's worked for a very long time. The sensational part of the news has worked, and it has gotten viewers.
Why do you watch the news?
Well, I don't. I'm all print news now. Well, not print news,
but you get news somehow.
Yeah. But I'm saying the less people that are talking at me, and if I could just get what happened and all of those things, and I usually get that from print news.
So where do you get your news?
Like Reuters or AP.
Okay. Well, you have some form of news.
No. I'm saying, but I'm saying it's not. Like, I don't look like Don Lemon, or Fox News.
I'm not saying it like it's a bad thing either. I'm just saying,
I don't get it from there.
It thrives from lies a little bit. That's just the nature of the business.
Well, no, I'm saying, but do you think that that's something that can last for in perpetuity? Like it's going to continue to go.
Lying?
It's
no, not lying, but are people going to dial in? Because I there have been polls that said viewership numbers and things of that nature have been low, especially for CNN.
I think the thing that's starting to creep into that theory and that concept is the fact that now we all have phones. Now we can record, right? So slowly we're starting to get away from, you can't lie because we have the camera here. But even then, cops are still saying what you saw on this camera is not what happened, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Even though you saw me on George Floyd's neck, that's not what happened. It took us so long to convict
Chauvin.
Yeah. Right? When we saw it on national TV, right? So, but I think as technology advances, right, it is going to get a little harder for news to sustain their business, right? Because things are so available. There's no privacy anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody can know everything about everybody at any point.
Yeah.
But I think a small portion of.
So I think that it's slowly creeping in, right? Like where news can't, you can't lie about it because we could find out like right now.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's like
information is available.
Yeah, because CNN straight up lied about what Joe Rogan was taking. Like when.
But I still don't think that's enough. That was my point. That was my main point I was heading to. Even if we know, here's the thing. Even if we know, guys,
the truth.
We know the truth. Even if we know the truth, it doesn't matter. It's not enough for us.
Yep.
We need the lies.
I 100%.
We need the lies.
You're 100% correct.
I'm gonna say we need the lies.
It's 100% correct.
Well, America thrives on lies.
Yes, we need it.
America needs to be lied to. You know,
even-
that's the thing. Like
Matt.
nobody knows. Nobody wants to hear the truth.
you know
America,
what?
you know what
You're
America was
absolutely
number
right.
one in? America wasn't number one in math, but you know what America was number one in? In believing that they were number one in
Number
math.
one.
Right.
Like what kind of?
Yeah, yeah.
But hey,
facts show
that
something
says something
different.
though.
Yeah.
That says something. Belief is greater.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Belief
yeah.
is greater. It says something.
It's whatever you could convince people of. That's what matters.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what
like,
matters.
Matt,
So-
you know,
Yeah.
you like a little bit of spice.
Yeah.
You know, you
You
know,
can't
but-
handle the
lie is
truth.
not
You
the-
can't handle the truth.
but okay.
Well,
right.
no, because like it hurts us. Because okay, where do you come from? What's your history?
Okay, Matt. I
we've been
know.
lied to.
I know, Matt. Matt, we come
Like-
from the same thing. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, we like a little spice. We don't like a little spice. You don't like a little spice.
I mean, I like spice elsewhere. Not,
Yeah. It's not. I don't think they don't lie because I like spice.
why do you like action movies?
well,
When
action
you
is-
know it's not the truth, why do you like it?
no, because there is a certain sense of
Because it appeals to your
but
imagination.
but it's properly placed. When we're talking
and
about
it also appeals to your imagination.
right,
Right.
but that's entertainment, and that's for that.
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
It's entertainment.
News is entertainment.
That's it. That's why you watch it all day long. 24 hours news.
No, but
Entertainment. That's what-
there is an entertainment news, but then there is
Nah.
all news is
All
entertainment.
news entertainment. I like that.
no, but then there's also
It's unfortunate,
it's unfortunate,
Right.
Yeah. But it's
You
true.
know,
but also, I don't think it's so much because because Matt likes spice, even though he is quite spicy. But
what?
it's because it's basically because they won't do. America won't allow you to see anything that'll cast it in a negative light, which is the same reason why critical race theory won't be taught anywhere.
It's got to protect its brand, right?
Yeah, it's got to protect its brand. So if I'm teaching in the history books of all of the atrocities that America has done up until this point, they don't want that.
No.
They don't want that at all. So that's basically what it is. They don't really care about how much spice Matt likes. They don't care about Matt. That's just they care about their brand.
Yeah, they lied to me from the beginning. They lied to all of us in the beginning.
Yeah, they made you think that you didn't live here, even though they found you here.
But that's where it starts.
They made the name. Yo, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
How you come into a country, right? And you see folk there, and you convince them that that's not where they belong. What?
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
And you create this whole story,
Son, man.
and we have holidays based on the lie.
That's right.
We make it holy.
You see how much
Right.
you like it?
Yeah,
That's right. Matt.
entertainment,
Matt,
right?
our people. We don't like entertainment. We love something. We love
Yeah,
some entertainment.
'cause we learned-
That's why we can't get out from it, yo. We're stuck
yeah, because you're in a land of lies.
because we love it. But we won't admit that we actually like it too. Come on, man. We
true.
like it. Matt, if we didn't like it as a people, our asses would have got up here and went right back to Africa where we came from. We would have rid ourselves from anything of the United States and march on.
Okay, you
and
know
get
what?
on
You know what?
boats and go to
think
Africa. None of us
you're
are going
right.
to do that.
You're right to a certain degree because, I mean, like when you think about the corporate world, how are they climbing up? You have to be built a certain way, and a lot of that has to do with lies. This is why I can't be impressed by, when you hear people talk about money in a certain aspect, like, you got to know that the game has already been played before you play it. Stocks, even with this cryptocurrency, everyone's like now jumping on it, but no, you didn't jump on it before. If you got all these, if you have a Robinhood app or a Coinbase app or things of that nature, if every American citizen has access to that, who's making the real money?
No one. It devalues it. The more people that
means the person who created that,
the ones who created it, right? Obviously,
That's the point I'm trying to make. Like, you have all these people running around in this hamster wheel, investing. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna make some chunk of change. Like, you gotta feed the thing to keep the people on that wheel. But like, unless you're really wise, you're just another hamster on the wheel. It's just another wheel for hamsters to run on, and again, like there is a lying factor in this area. So like, I mean, that's just one part of it, but it's like the lie. You're right. Like we need to be lied to in order to. It's sad in order to succeed in this system. It seems like you gotta play the game, and you can't really take it to heart. You just gotta know this is the game, this is the system, it's based on this lie. So you know what? We'll run it. I'll run it. I can't take it seriously. And like you look at people like we talked about her before. Who's the Republican girl, the lady, the young black lady,
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens. That's entertainment. She might have some certain opinions, but I can't take her seriously. She's running a game. You know what I'm saying? The politics is a game.
Right. David Joyce just said, "What does belief is greater mean?" It means that, in my opinion, and you guys could jump in.
Oh yeah.
That you could believe in bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Right. If your belief is strong enough, you get everybody else to believe that.
And I would put it a little differently. What's important is not the truth, but what you believe the truth to be.
Yeah.
That's how I'd put that.
Yeah. Remember what you said? Say it again.
I'd say what's important is not what the truth is, but what you believe the truth to be.
That's a T-shirt right there, baby. Wow. Put some money on that.
That's it right there.
Yeah, that's it right there. Because if you believe strong enough, nobody can.
Because it becomes your reality. That's your reality. But your reality is what you've seen.
Right. But you come into a country, you make the people believe that that's not their country. That's powerful.
Well, enough people were saying that, right? Enough people were acting like it and saying it, and so eventually you have to be like, well, I can't be the only one who's over here waving a flag. Like, that don't make no sense. Might as well go along.
FOMO.
Might as well go along with it.
Yeah.
Might as well go along with it.
Yeah.
And so that's what it is. And so, but I wanted to say something about the truth, right? So I think part of the reason also, as far as the news having that influence, is people don't want to put too much energy into stuff. Like, where can you find out what your elected official feels about certain things? Oh, I have no idea. I have to check the news. Like the C-SPAN, you know what I'm saying? That's where they actually say what their policy is and everything. You don't need an interpreter. They speak English. You know what I mean? You can, but that's quite boring when you look at C-SPAN. That's boring. Right. You gotta wait. They have times one person talking at a time. Now I want the concise. I need the 5-minute you know what I'm saying? I don't really want to know the nonsense.
But
nonsense.
I agree with you, right?
Nonsense.
And you know what? Church is no different. Yeah. Every institution is the same way.
Yeah.
Right? Why do you need to go hear a pastor then? If you have the truth.
Well, again, that's...
No, why?
Don't pull back.
Why? If you have the truth in your hand, which is the Bible, and the Holy Spirit lives inside of you, he did away with the high priest, right? You no longer need to go to high priest no more. Why are you listening to a pastor then?
Well, he's there for encouragement.
Well, that's different.
Encouragement.
Know what he does.
Yeah, well...
Huh? No, why do you need
I need encouragement sometimes.
No, yeah, let's go there.
Right. Are you talking
why
about okay.
Do you need
Can I ask you a question?
Why do you need it? If you also have the truth, I'm saying the same institution applies the same concept applies in every institution.
Right, but I'm asking you to clarify.
Right.
Are you saying
if you also have the truth? I'm actually agreeing with what you're saying. Because I'm saying that if you also have the truth, why do you need a pastor? That's one. I'm gonna throw it out there. Also, I do believe, like you said, people are too lazy to go look for the information. So therefore the pastor is necessary, because the pastor is the one that gets the information and tells the people, here's what God says. Okay. When they have just as much God as the pastor, right, in them, Right. But because they don't like to do the research themselves,
Right.
they need the pastor to tell them
Right.
every single week.
Okay,
So I just want to be clear.
What to do.
What you're saying is, why do they need the pastor to interpret what's already there? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm agreeing. In one hand, I'm agreeing with you in terms of people are too lazy.
Right. Okay.
I'm agreeing with that.
Okay.
On the other hand, I'm saying, well, if you do have the truth, why do you need a pastor?
Okay, so let's put it like this. Okay, so but let's
Yeah.
okay, so let's put it like this. Do people need an evangelist?
Yeah, of course.
Why?
Well, you're talking
Let's
about
just
people.
not say why.
No, you said evangelists.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are for people that have no entry point as far as the gospel
Right.
is concerned. That's what they're there for.
And that's
Okay,
what,
so
and that's what I was
okay,
feeling.
okay.
Yeah.
Do we agree that people need a teacher?
Depends.
Teacher, I can go with the teacher. Yes. Why?
Okay.
Because you could sit here and teach me something right now that I might not know. I could
Right.
teach you something. I could teaching is always in effect, right? So I can more so go with that because we all teach each other.
Okay.
Right.
Do you agree that people need a prophet?
I'm not sure.
Oh,
No, because
not
we got a
sure.
Bible.
I agree. We need a prophet.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I
So
can't
then
even say.
so here's the thing. So then we're negating what Jesus did in Ephesians chapter 4, where it says he ascended upon high and gave gifts to men. So we're
Here's-
saying we
here's
don't
what I
need.
think. Here's
So
what
we're
I
saying.
think.
So
I'm
I'm
not
not saying
saying-
that. No,
Hold
because
on.
we're saying we don't need a pastor.
I'm not being dogmatic about it. I'm saying I'm not sure. Right?
Okay.
I'm not saying
Okay.
I'm the reason
So it was a true
You
question.
guys gotta clarify. Like,
Yeah, you need to clarify. We need to
why do
clarify.
I need
what that means when you say need, because it's a lot
Need for what?
right.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you.
Right, good.
Right.
or
Yeah.
Right.
I like
So-
that. But
right.
Exactly.
maybe for others.
Why would I
Okay.
need a prophet? Explain that so that we could have a grasp of
Okay,
what it is.
there is the word of there is the word of God. Now, the gift of the prophet has to do with encouragement, edification, comfort. It's only going to come through the gift of a prophet.
But
Now,
that's
when you
that's a pastoral gift, though.
no, it's prophecy. You can look that up in the gift of prophecy.
Uh-huh.
It's in Corinthians. Now, the prophet is going to also, what you have in prophecy, you have the spoken word, which is going to be, now it's inspired of God. You speak the word that's written, but it's like the word is now being brought to life. Now, there's going to be some foretelling in prophecy. There's going to be word of knowledge. A prophet is going to work in the gift of revelation. He's going to work in the word of knowledge, discernment, to be able to know, okay, this is your situation. This is what has to be done. When you look at what pastors do now, this is what pastors should be doing.
Okay.
Okay, counseling. There's some counseling that has to be done that a prophet won't do, that an evangelist won't do. Evangelist is going to be the one that's going to be preaching the gospel and getting the gospel out there so that people can be saved. They can hear the gospel of Jesus Christ. A teacher is going to break down the certain concepts of the word and, do that, the menial work, so like to say that, but these are the things that Jesus gave, because this is a part of Jesus. This is how he operated even on this earth. And we always forget apostles, the one who's the sent one, the one that's going to establish places for people to worship. So, I think we look at where pastor is now. I will agree, in our culture here in America, yeah, like it's definitely goes into question. Like, I feel like we place so much emphasis on the one thing called pastor that we're negating all the other gifts that Jesus gave to the church.
Because our culture is like, yo, Matt, all right, whenever I hear a message, right, like usually with like when you hear prophecies, right, it's always expository. It's always, oh, I know what you were doing last night.
Right.
God told me. Like,
Right.
God told me what you were doing last night. You know what?
Sex demon stuff.
You know what I was doing last night, or you was doing it too?
Right.
Like, what are we
Right.
talking about here? Like seriously, why is it always expository? Yo, like, why is it that? Like, and here's another thing I'm gonna throw out there, right? If God is always giving you a word for me, right? Next time, the thing I would say to you, right, that's always has a word for me that God's given me, is to tell God, why is he so afraid of me? That he never speaks to me, he only speaks to you, right? To come talk to me.
See, this is what
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask.
So then it's either I'm not listening, right? Which usually is the case, that God is gonna come speak to me because I'm not Patrick's not listening. Okay, so he needs somebody else to come to. But more often than time, I'm like, wait a minute, why has God always got a word for somebody else through you? What God can't speak to that person himself? He's not. It's almost like, listen, go tell Matt, please. Like it just seems so simple for a great God that we're talking about, right?
Right. And
So,
so
like, how does-
to me, I think that's and that's where, again, going back to, you know, the job of the pastor, because the whole idea is this: they should be telling you that you can hear. A lot of them don't encourage you to go out and
There
listen.
goes my point. You see what I'm saying?
They don't
They should
empower
be
you.
telling you what?
They should be telling you this is the Bible. The Bible says you have the anointing, the unction, and you know
Then,
all things.
Matt, why don't they do that?
No, because it's we know why. Because
The business.
It's not just
I
the-
gotta spice it up.
No,
No,
it's
make a
not-
little
it's not
money.
just-
I need you coming back, Matt. Why would I give you all the info?
Right. It's to keep you.
Right. That's my point.
Under-
Why would I give you all the info? I need you coming back.
Of course, I need you to depend on me.
Yes.
Right. And that's wrong.
That's my point from the beginning. It's no different from what the business outside of
Right,
is
but
doing.
that doesn't.
It's
But
the same
So
thing.
basically, okay. So then,
But the
then-
question
but
is-
then
Alright,
we're speaking of necessity.
no,
then.
but here's the thing: is but the question is, you do need what Jesus gave you, which is a pastor.
So we do need actual faithful.
So
we,
prophets.
yeah,
We
we're
need-
not.
we need
We're,
those.
we're looking
Okay.
at the bad examples.
Okay,
and we're
explain-
negating.
We don't need the TV one.
Explain need. Explain need. What do you mean when I say I need?
Yeah, and also it's not just about having the offices there, so called, or having them in name. Are they actually doing the job?
Right.
Because
Faithful.
if they're not,
Faithful. Right.
if they're not, you just have a bunch of useless people there.
Obviously,
Right.
because we know.
Right.
Well, the whole point.
They're useful. They may not be needed, but they're useful.
No, they are
For
needed.
some- no, they're needed for some people, right?
No, they're
So-
needed for the whole church. Now, remember what it says in the Bible, Ephesians 4:11.
So who's doing it for them?
It's for the edification.
They're part of the church.
Yeah, that's
The
where.
prophet is a part of the church.
Yeah, that's part of
so
accountability.
they need a prophet for themselves.
right.
Can you guys
Exactly,
explain?
but they don't
Right.
do that.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the wrong example.
Let me tag myself
Okay.
in.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
Can you guys explain need? What do you mean need?
Yeah, then.
It's
What-
for,
what does
okay,
that look
you
like?
got to
I didn't.
understand. Okay,
I didn't say that.
in Ephesians, it talks about for the edification of the church. Are you
Okay.
the church?
Okay.
So how are you going to be edified?
Okay.
Through what?
Through the gifts. It's for the edification of the church. We are the church. It's us, you and I, all of us here. We are the church. How are we? How are we going to be built up?
Okay, all right. So I agree with the fact that when you have a group of people, these group of people have different gifts, right? And because we have different gifts, it helps the society function, right? Because you're gifted at this, you're gifted at that, you're gifted at that, you're gifted at that. If we share it, right, we're able to grow and we're able to pass it on. I do agree with that. So from that concept, I can understand why there's these different what we call offices, right? Because you're talking about people with different gifts that
Right.
comes to edify an organization that we're calling the church, right?
Right.
I'm just trying to simplify it as basic as much as I can, right? So now when we talk about pastors, what do I need from the pastor?
You're going to need some counseling. I would say that's probably the main thing. Like when it comes to understanding, a pastor should understand certain things about relationships. You know, here's another
let me-
thing.
let me ask you.
Criteria? Are you saying there's a criteria that the pastor has to
I
have?
believe. Here's the thing. I also
order-
believe
like,
when
what-
we
what
look
is
at
it?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
answer the question.
When we look at-
Does he need that as a qualification?
that has to be a qualification, because if you look
criteria?
at a pastor, remember a pastor was likened to a shepherd and his sheep. Now the pastor or a shepherd has to be able to have some kind of insight and foresight to look at the field and see a wolf coming. He has to have that love in his heart for people to see, whether they're in danger or they're not in danger, to encourage them where they need encouragement, to push them, and to get them to get closer to the vision that God has for them. Remember, it's supposed to be in encouraging and empowering his sheep.
Okay. Let me ask, is there like an expiration date for that? Is there a point where the sheep under his care get to the point of full maturity where they're able to do that for themselves, or are they all perpetually under that pastor?
No, there has to be a point where they grow. Because the word says it. Obviously, if it's edification and being built up, there has to be growth. If there's no growth, then we're gonna have the question either the sheep or the shepherd.
So then, second point. So then, that being the case, is there a point where you no longer need that pastoral oversight?
Yeah, there's probably there are points where you don't need either that person's pastoral oversight. There's of course like I said, there's growth, and then you're gonna understand the ministry that God has for you, and you're gonna grow, and you're gonna go seek out and accomplish the vision that God has for you. So, but that doesn't mean that. But there's still an account. I believe that there's still an accountability. You still are. You should be accountable to someone. You need that type of counsel.
Right.
Okay.
But isn't Jesus enough?
Under what guidelines are you accountable to somebody?
Under what guidelines?
Meaning you should be accountable to somebody on why.
Okay, no one can. Okay, if you're not accountable
outside of your parents,
right? If you're not accountable to anyone.
Now, I'm not saying anyone. I'm saying outside of your family, right? Like I would think accountability. One of the strongest accountability can be family, because that's who you have. Yeah, or a parent or being, or a brother, or whatever the case may be, right? But their family, they know you. They know you since you was a little kid. They have more of a point of reference, and in instructing you or guiding you or encouraging you,
right?
Perhaps, right? So in that regard, like if somebody coming is a stranger and says, they need me to be accountable to them. Why?
You said a stranger,
meaning a stranger, meaning that they're not your family, right? Okay. A pastor, for example, or a minister says, "Hey, you can't do this because before you do this, you have to be accountable to me and serve me for this amount of years before you can do this."
Yeah,
and
see,
then,
like that. Okay,
and then I give you the blessing to be this person. Right?
Yeah, see, like that's to me that already sounds off. You have to serve me for.
It's a method for free labor. That language I'm speaking,
right? But
that's a free labor language. Like,
right. No,
I'm really saying I need free labor, but I have to say it within those.
Right, but here's the thing. But that goes against what it said. Jesus gave gifts. So like, who was that? Okay, you got to serve me for 6 years. Like, what kind of?
No, but that's really what it is.
That's what that's what's happening. But that's not what should be happening.
Well, no, there's a lot of stuff that shouldn't be happening. But I'm saying
we're talking about the ideal.
We're talking about what's happening right now. That's what's happening. There are whole churches where there are grown men, like in their 40s and 50s, saying, I am under the tutelage of this guy. I'm like, no.
You know what I realized, man? People are lazy and they don't like to take responsibility.
Yep. No, I agree.
No one likes to say, I failed at this. It was my fault. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They like to say, like, I was under the pastor and I was under this. They have to have somebody there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, bro, listen.
Well, I mean, think about it like this. Okay, if you go in business, there's somebody who trained you.
Okay.
I was trained by, the CEO of Chubb Institute or whatever. I was trained by him. Even certain musicians, I was trained under this person.
Right.
Is there? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not disagreeing with the method of being trained or learning from somebody at all.
No, what is this?
Oh, they're beating people? Yeah.
What is this?
You see what I'm talking about, man? No, what is that doing,
that's
though,
abuse.
yo?
No, it's
Man.
no. But
That.
Say it on the mic so people can hear.
Why can't I be?
okay, so yeah, somebody. So, okay, so there's this pastor. There's a bunch of men standing in the road. This is an African pastor.
You
What's
just
this?
assume he's
All
African,
right, he's African.
He's
African
always
pastor.
gotta be
So
African.
there are men and women stretched out on the floor, and this guy is beating them with reeds. For what?
That's
with a belt.
belts.
Beating them with a belt. These are grown people. They're like people in their 30s and 40s and 50s, and they're sitting there and letting a grown man beat them. Never me. Ever. Never.
That's a good 50 people there.
It's good. Like he's just going and hitting people with the belt.
Wow.
This is why this stuff is dangerous, man.
Yeah, there's abuse. That's what I'm saying. That's not the way it was
Okay,
intended.
we gotta go. Right.
Wow.
Oh, we gotta go.
But, yeah,
Oh,
wow.
sorry.
12:01.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, though, yo. Damn.
Yeah, we need
Like
to pick this up
late,
again, man.
late prostate
Wow. Wow.
and just whooping them.
Wow.
Yeah.
He'd have to catch the fade, bro. It's
Yo.
on site.
All right.
Man, it's late, y'all. Lifting.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yo, appreciate it,
Yes.
man. You know, Uninvited Podcast. We out.
All right, yeah.